Nicki B dropping nuggets of knowledge. Purple cat magic. Vegas. And your girl, Coco Jenkins.
Brilliant. Breathe in, breathe out. Yay. That is Coco Jenkins, if you don't already know, Las Vegas local. Thank you so much, Coco Jenkins, for this fire theme song. It definitely is stuck in my head. If you don't already know, you can check out Coco Jenkins Beats on Instagram. And if you're looking for anything to do or eat in Las Vegas, visit Nothing to Do Las Vegas at ntdlv.com. Welcome to the Heal Out Loud show with me, your host, Nicki B. Healing out loud means aligning yourself with patients, caregivers, and even medical professionals who have beaten the odds and forged their unique path to a happier and healthier reality. Here, we will learn about how to use food as medicine, the many modalities of holistic care that I have encountered from all over the world. We will also learn how to be an impactful advocate for your health. I have had the pleasure of listening to hundreds of Heal Out Loud stories, and they all deserve a platform to be heard. Join me as we remove the shame and stigma of using plants as medicine. Thank you to Indiva Advisors, the sponsor of today's episode. Indiva Advisors is a Latina woman-owned accounting firm located here in Las Vegas. Shout out to Jessica Velasquez, the CEO and managing partner. This month, Indiva Advisors is hosting a free webinar, and we will get into all those details during my interview with Jessica, coming up later in the show. You can learn more at indivaadvisors.com. Back from hiatus, we are broadcasting live from the studios of KCEP, also known as Power 88 in Las Vegas. So much to catch you up on. A review of the CAC subcommittee meeting from April. We will recap of the CCB workshop on Regulation 12 that happened last Friday, and the launch of the Heal Out Loud website. And cannot forget the historic move from Biden's DEA to reschedule cannabis from a Schedule 1 drug to a Schedule 3 drug. All right, let's jump right in because we've got a lot to cover today. If you recall, last August on Power 88's Wake Up Squad, I shared the news that Biden's Health and Human Services Department sent a letter to the DEA asking that cannabis be considered for rescheduling on the Controlled Substance Act. The more than 200-page report was reviewed for the last 9 months by the DEA, and finally, last month, the DEA decided it would accept the HHS recommendations. What does this mean? This DEA announcement is just the first step towards rescheduling cannabis. We are currently in the 60-day comment period. So that period ends on July 22nd. If you want to schedule a hearing, then you must submit your request by June 20th. That's two different dates there. So this month is the June 20th is the last time you are able to submit a request if you want to have a hearing in front of the DEA of why you feel like cannabis should be rescheduled. But you have until July 22nd, next month, to actually submit your public comment. Any hearings approved by the DEA must be scheduled and executed. Then all of those findings are presented to the Department of Justice, and the Department of Justice has the final say. It will likely be months or possibly longer before a final determination is issued. The next president's administration will determine if the decisions being made now will be implemented into the future. What does that mean? That means vote. If this is an issue that matters to you, consider who you're going to be electing for president, for the next president of the United States, and whether or not that this issue aligns with what you want to see happen for cannabis legalization or rescheduling in this country. The truth is that rescheduling cannabis from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3 is huge, but it is the federal government admitting they were wrong the last 55 years about this plant. But this move is not enough because it keeps federal penalties in place, and the move would benefit businesses, which is good, but it does not benefit those harmed by cannabis criminalization. The benefits for businesses come in the form of a tax break by eliminating 280E, which we'll get into in my interview today with Jessica. But people in prison for cannabis would not be released. No one formerly incarcerated would have their criminal records erased or have access to federal benefits restored. Parents could still have their children taken away for just using cannabis. Immigrants could still be deported for consuming cannabis or even working at a legal dispensary. Workers in the cannabis industry would still not be eligible for federal protections. And ancillary businesses like my own will still not be able to open a business account at a regular bank. I would still be subject to predatory fees that are implemented on only on cannabis businesses. I don't touch plant, but this is how these cannabis, even in the legal spaces, always in the legal spaces, are having to operate. I will be submitting public comment that supports the move and providing an argument for why the plant should not be on the Controlled Substance Act at all. Deschedule cannabis. What does this mean? It means removing it from the Controlled Substance Act altogether and allowing it to be regulated like essential oils and vitamins. Deschedule cannabis. That's it. Period. Free the plant, free the people. This was one of our many calls to action at the last Prisoner Project rally in DC during 420 in front of the White House, which was very interesting. We were medicating and seshing right there that week, the week of 420, to protest any suggestion of rescheduling, but also reminding our federal government that this legal industry is operating, but we still have people locked up in prison, our brothers and sisters that they have not shown any action to bringing home. We as advocates demand more. We want legalization, and we want them to let our people go. Rescheduling does not do enough, President Biden, but it is a step in the right direction. All right. Like I said, the industry for the next few months is going to be buzzing with conversations around reschedule versus deschedule. Luckily, your neighborhood encyclopedia is back, and I will be hosting a segment each week discussing this hot topic with advocates, business owners, and industry insiders. You can find the series by visiting my website, healoutloudnickib.com. And to kick off that conversation, today we will hear from Jessica Velasquez, CEO and managing partner of Indiva Advisors, an accounting firm serving the cannabis industry. Jessica, you there? Today, I am so honored to have with us Jessica Velasquez, the managing partner and founder of Indiva Advisors. So let's just jump right in. What is Indiva Advisors?
Nicole, thank you so much for having me. It's my pleasure to be here. So Indiva Advisors is a boutique CPA firm that has been focused on the cannabis industry since 2016, when I founded it 8 years ago. By trade, I am a CPA. I've been practicing over 20 years. I started my career in big corporate public accounting firms, helping Fortune 100 firms save on their tax liability and helping them with tax planning. So fast forward 8 years ago, I started the firm, really stepping into both the entrepreneur shoes, and doing the CPA firm my way. I really wanted to be more of a holistic practitioner instead of a transactional practitioner. I'm sure folks out there see their tax person maybe once a year, and kind of do a data dump. Our approach is definitely different than that. We want to work with our clients throughout the year to help them improve on their business operations and ultimately save on their taxes. We all know that this industry is plagued with, a vicious tax code, 280E. And so really working with them throughout the year is what I thought was the best sort of remedy to make sure that we were able to provide the best value, instead of that once a year transaction.
The federal government is considering rescheduling cannabis from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3. And that's the hot topic of the day. One of the benefits is going to be that 280E will be removed. Can you share with us how that is going to affect the cannabis industry?
280E is going away. 280E only applies to Schedule 1 and Schedule 2 on the CSA. So with a Schedule 3 in our horizon, 280E wouldn't be applicable anymore. But with that being said, I don't think we know everything else that's coming with this Schedule 3. Practitioners in the industry have had conversations, and we're thinking that there could be some additional federal taxation that could be applied, like a federal excise tax or like import-export taxes, if we decide to move cannabis across state lines. So I think there's still quite a bit unknown on that realm. But again, I think with 280E safely going away, this really opens up the tax planning opportunities for operators in the cannabis industry. Things like the S election that generally in the industry was something we stayed away from because of the double taxation with 280E. That now is going to become a forefront tax planning opportunity for privately held, closely held businesses. Things like credits that, again, were typically not available to cannabis operators become available. So things like the R&D tax credit and other innovative credits that the federal and state governments allow are going to come front and center. I think we can all agree that the cannabis industry has been very innovative, certainly in the last couple of years, and just out of reach with some of these credits that are dollar for dollar tax savings. So I think it's going to open up even more innovation in the industry as folks try to tap into those types of credits. And then I do think it will level the playing field, so to speak, as we compare financial positions of various cannabis companies. Right now, that's very difficult with 280E because it has different impacts, whether you're a fully vertical operator or a single license operator. And it even differentiates from, a cultivation licensee to a dispensary licensee. So with, again, 280E going away, it really levels off comparability for financial statement purposes. And it's going to, I think, really put operators in a more, what I would say, business forefront position. Again, we're not worried about the tax impact as much anymore. So we're thinking of ways of how to use that excess cash flow that was going to taxes, now going back into the business. So, things like scaling your business, whether that's opening another location, whether that's acquisition, whether that's partnerships with other operators, I think are also going to be drivers of innovation in the industry. And, folks are going to see those scaling opportunities that I don't think were as prominent before.
So what else is on the horizon for Indiva Advisors?
Yeah, thanks so much, Nicole, for that. And thank you as well for all of the work that you do in the industry. This year, we started a webinar series called Indiva Empowers, and bringing education to entrepreneurs and business owners around issues that impact the industry is really what we're bringing in this webinar series. The next one is scheduled for June 11th at 1 p.m. Pacific time. And so folks can follow us on all of our social media handles at Indiva Advisors on LinkedIn and IG. You can also follow me on all of the platforms. I'm a big LinkedIn junkie. And you can find the link to sign up on any of our social media platforms.
And is this what we can expect at the webinar? Is the webinar free or is it open up to everyone? Yes?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Free, open to the general public. Please sign up, come listen to not just me, but all of our amazing guest speakers and other panelists that we have join and hear from them as well.
All right. Thanks so much. To hear more of my conversation with Jessica and to hear her Heal Out Loud story, there's something that I've realized since it's been 7 years now I've been working in this industry. Everyone has a why. Everyone has a Heal Out Loud story. However, cannabis has either negatively or positively impacted their lives. They have a story that is somehow centered around how this healing plant has impacted them. So if you want to hear more of my interview with Jessica, please visit my website, healoutloudnickib.com. That is spelled Nickib. And don't forget to mark your calendars for June 11th at 1 p.m. Pacific time. And join Indiva Partners and join Indiva Advisors free webinar. You can register at indivaadvisors.com. That's spelled INDIVA advisors.com. All right, now we are going to be switching gears to what is happening here in Las Vegas. A quick update regarding the Cannabis Advisory Commission Subcommittee meeting on market participation. Back in April, that was the last meeting, with support from M4MM hosting a free virtual town hall, inviting to the table minority and women-owned businesses to discuss a pilot program that would be their pathway to inclusion. I'm happy to report I was able to present some innovative ideas that we are brought to the surface during our conversation in April during the M4MM town hall. And I brought these innovative ideas to the subcommittee on market participation. And we are still waiting on the next date for that meeting to be established. But it was some good ideas and conversations that happened. And hopefully we can create a pathway of inclusion for some of these business owners that want to be in this space and don't exactly have the large capital that is required. And so the state wants to take that into consideration. And so they're asking for your ideas as well. That opportunity has not closed. So if you are do have some ideas that you feel like would be helpful to our industry here, you can create an email and submit your ideas on what kind of programs you would like to see. And so if you want to submit your idea to the CAC subcommittee, you can definitely email cacmeetings@nv.ccb.gov. So that opportunity is available and open. Like I said, the next meeting date has not been set yet, but I will notify everyone. I usually update you via my Instagram. I'll be doing a weekly show, so I will let you all know when that next meeting is actually set. But in the meantime, you can submit your ideas Again, you can email the CCB specifically for on this topic, market participation, and any programs or ideas that you may have on how we can get more minority and women-owned businesses into this space. Please email cacmeetings@nv.ccb.gov. In other local news, the CCB hosted a workshop on Regulation 12 last Friday. Now, this is interesting. Regulation 12 is mostly about labeling and packaging, but the part of this regulation that received the most discussion was 12.065. Now, this section of the regulation requires that cultivations notify the consumer that their product has been remediated. What is remediation, you ask? Well, the majority of the clothes we wear and food sold in the grocery store has undergone some sort of radiation treatment before we buy it. In Nevada, some cultivators use radiation to kill live mold and bacteria on cannabis that has failed a lab test. This radiated product is now considered safe and labeled as remediated. There are different ways to remediate flour. There is a method using oxygen technology to clean the plant of any microbials. But the most common way here in Nevada is to use a radiation machine known as RAD. The harvested flour that cannot pass a lab test gets tossed inside a radiation machine and cleaned up, one of these RAD machines. Then it gets sent back to the lab to prove, get tested again and prove that the mold and bacteria is now dead. But then that product is deemed safe and packaged and sold to the consumer for consumption. So you don't have live mold necessarily on your product, but you probably have some dead mold still on there because the weight doesn't change. It's the same weight. There's no way to clean that dead mold off of the flour before it's packaged and sold to you. The regulation would require that the products that have undergone this type of treatment have a label added to the product. There are cultivators that do not use a remediation because they have a pristine facility and unique harvesting methods that do not allow mold and bacteria to accumulate on the flour. This is important. The consumer has the right to know which cultivators are using these machines and which ones are not. Well, I can name you a few right here that do not use these machines. Green Life Productions, my favorite, GLP. Floor is another one that does not use radiation or remediation on their flour. And then LP Exotics, title sponsor for here for the radio show, for the Heal Out Loud show earlier this year. We talked with the owner and CEO, and she was very adamant about making sure none of the products that she used in her SKUs come from radiated facilities or from radiated products. And so I will be keeping you updated on how this all progresses. The next CCB board meeting on June 28th will present some of the ideas that were discussed in the workshop to the board, and then they will take a vote and send their recommendations to the legislators. I will be at that meeting at the end of June, and I will be sure to give you a recap on the next live episode. Do not forget to submit your public comment to the DEA. Visit my website, healoutloudnickib.com, and click on the banner at the top of the home page. Don't forget, the comment period ends on July 22nd. And if you want to request a hearing to present your case to the DEA, you have until June 20th to submit that request. M for MM has created a step-by-step, easy-to-follow guide for you to comment like a pro, taking all of the guesswork out of it. This is the time to let your voice be heard. If you want to be a part of the process, then do not let this window of opportunity pass you by. All right, other exciting news coming up before we leave today. My new website will be launching today. Visit healoutloudnickib.com, which is spelled Nickib. Each Wednesday, I will drop a new episode of the Heal Out Loud show on YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram. Next week, I will feature my interview with Dr. Sabi's grandson, Isaiah Bowman. owner of Dietary Resolutions and the next generation of Sabi family healers. I had the pleasure of meeting him at his offices here in Las Vegas last month, and I have been on the Sebi regimen for the last 28 days, and I feel amazing. I will share the steps I took to embark on this part of my journey. Taking the Sabi herbs is only a portion of the cleanse. Eating live electric alkaline foods and plenty of spring water is an even bigger part of the process. Join me on this journey of healing out loud. Also featured on my website will be my marketplace, which includes so many unique products. You can purchase the book, Courage in Cannabis, which I am featured as an author, along with Mike Tyson. And you can also schedule an appointment with your Cannaciers Las Vegas, a service that educates consumers on cannabis products in the market and can even schedule a tour of local cultivation facilities. If you are listening to me on the radio, then you cannot see. Every day I wear a necklace that has a heart-shaped cannabis nugget, which I have coined the Love Nug. The Love Nug is a pendant that looks like a ground up cannabis flower formed into a heart-shaped love nug and is also available for purchase on my website. I'm also so excited to announce that I will be a speaker at the second annual Hire Conference in Philly at the end of the month. This conference is known as the official Women of Color in Cannabis Conference. Excited to visit Philly for the first time, and I will host a live broadcast from the conference, so be sure to visit my website for all the updates. One last announcement, Black Buddha Cannabis is coming to a dispensary near you, right here in Nevada. Visit blackbuddhacannabis.co for all of the details. As a national brand ambassador for Black Buddha Cannabis, I'm excited to introduce this Black woman-owned brand to Nevada. Shout out to Roz McCarthy, the CEO, my mentor and cheerleader. Thank you for believing in me and supporting my dreams. All right, y'all. It has been my pleasure sharing stories with you today. And until next time, shine bright, always tap into your higher self, and lead with love. Remember, heal out loud divinely. Don't be ashamed. Share your heal out loud story. You never know who you may inspire or what you may learn. Visit my YouTube channel, Heal Out Loud with Nicki B, for new episodes every Wednesday featuring empowering healing stories. You can also watch extended interviews about and learn about the cannabis industry from an insider's point of view and my healing journey fighting HIV. Be sure to follow me on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, and subscribe to Heal Out Loud Nicki B, where we all heal together. Now you can get all these details in one central location by visiting my website at Heal Out Loud Nicki B, spelled Nickib. I'm not a doctor or a medical professional. I believe the process of healing is a shared experience. My health journey is unique to me, but let us heal out loud together. Free Palestine, free the Sudan, free the Congo, and free the hostages. Peace, y'all.
Great show.
Thank you. Peace, y'all.